Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about balancing the chord. So if we just look through here, here's practice section 2 again. I picked it arbitrarily because this happens in every single practice section. It happens from the very second note of the piece, and it happens throughout. And that is, we have these stacked notes right here, right? Here's 2 notes, or 3 notes, there's 2. Here's stacked notes, stacked notes. Well, all notes are not created equal. They all have a function, but not all of them needs to be in the very front. If there are 2 notes in with the stem pointing up, it's only the top note that actually is the, like this one right here, that is the melody note. So the melody is all these stems pointing up, and that's what we need to put in the foreground. The other stuff needs to be in the background. So if we look at this chord, this needs to be louder than these. This needs to be louder than those. And so that's what we're going to talk about in this video right here, is how to do that. So whenever you play a chord, so focus down here, whenever you're playing a chord, we want to just close our hands. We want to touch the strings and then clap our hands closed so that our fingers end with the knuckles flat. Not like this in the hands, because that means that it's going to have a tinny sound, and we're going to probably be bicycling and pulling up and snagging the strings. It's not going to be this lush, beautiful sound. So whenever we're playing a chord, a chunk chord like this, multiple notes at the same time, then we want to just close our hand, touch it, and then just lightly from the big knuckle, clap the hands closed, okay? So that's the way to play a beautiful chord to begin with. Not like this. Not snagging the strings and pulling up on the whole thing. That's not how to do it. So when we do this, then, if we want to bring one note out louder, what we do is, before we touch the string, or as we touch the string, what we're going to do is we're going to push one finger out a little bit further than the other. In this song, it's always going to be the A finger, because the melody note is always the highest note. But in some songs, you do have the melody will go into the middle voice, or the lower voice of the 3 fingers, or even the thumb if it's a bass melody. So in this case, though, we're just going to push out this A finger just a little bit further, like this, and then when you touch the strings, that will simply either roll to the side a little bit of the string, or it will press the string in a little bit more. Okay? This should not be a hard thing. Don't use a lot of muscle here, or else you're going to get a big twangy tone, and this is a beautiful song. We don't want that. So then you just have that finger poking out more, barely touch with the other 2, and then do the exact same thing. Don't try to, and this is, you're going to be tempted to really try to like play this A finger louder. You don't have to do that. You just get there, poke it out a little bit further, like this, touch it, barely touch these top ones to the string, very lightly, just touching the top of the string, and then in exactly the same way, you just close your hand. And what happens is, that note's louder, and these notes are quieter. And you can do it with all the different fingers, and it's a great practice to do so. But my motion is the exact same from every single one. It's just that I'm poking one finger out first, a little bit further, so that it grabs more string, and then just closing the whole hand. And like I said, it's going to be the A finger for this. So practice this separately, just balancing this so that you can do it when you're not thinking about all the other notes that the left hand has to play and everything. Next, what we're going to do is add the thumb, because oftentimes the thumb is playing too. So first off, just practice playing the chord with the thumb, and try to get them all just as even sounding as possible. And then add in poking this A finger out just a little bit more. With everything else soft, if you're getting it really, if it's really this hard thing that you're like snapping the strings and really working hard at, then back off, shake it out, relax your face, relax the back of your tongue, all of this, go back, sit with your fingers on the strings for just a minute. We oftentimes will have the reaction of, as soon as I touch the string, I want to play it. And we want to be able to just rest here and be okay, be cool, just sitting here, and then do that. Totally relax. You know, I mean, don't collapse into the floor, but you know what I'm saying. Release any excess tension, and then gently close your hand. And practice just balancing that out, so you can have that. When you put it into the song, the melody will be able to sing out. instead of a big chunky chord. If you do it all together, you'll still hear the melody, but the listener won't be as sure of exactly what to listen to. We want to have 3 levels, ideally, 3 levels of sounds going in our music all the time. The melody way up front, the bass next, and then the interior voices, the other stuff, way in the background. So it really gives it this 3-dimensional landscape. So we can have, it'll be much more dynamic. We know what the bass is, we know what the melody is, and it gives our listener exactly, this is what to listen to. It's like a show and tell. You don't leave it and just hope that they'll understand what you're doing. You give it to them. You demonstrate, this is the melody. This is not the melody. And so you do this by doing this balance. So with this, you know what? I misspoke. Right from the very first chord of the song, we have the M finger will also, P-I-M, and so then the M will be the furthest out. Like this. So with this chord right here, it'll be the M, P-I-M, with the thumb. So also practice that, touching, pushing that one slightly out more, and then just closing the hand. And this is balance. Have fun with that. It's just something to practice. It'll make everything that you play more beautiful. And so it's worth practicing. Even if you don't perfect it to absolute perfection in this piece, just keep practicing it on a daily basis, and it will. And look for places in your other music where you can bring out the melody note, probably the top note generally. Okay, that's balance. Now we get to, in the next video, jump right into practice section 1 and start learning this piece in earnest. See you there.